It's gonna chime after we do this, it's 5 minutes late already.
Call the town board to pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, we made it. Ding, ding.
Not yet. Okay, motion to approve the minutes for the December 20th meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Were there any questions on that?
Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve the January docket and the allowance docket.
I'll make a motion to approve the dockets.
Second.
Any questions on that?
No.
That's the allowance docket.
Oh, I was gonna say.
It's the same information that's on that docket, but the state board wants to separate it out.
Did we just start this?
Oh, no, it's been on.
Yeah,
Seemed like
I
it.
thought maybe you had it or somebody else. I'm anxiously waiting.
Okay, election officers. What's your pleasure, guys?
We're gonna go, I thought we were gonna go with the votes.
That's fine. If you want it, that's fine.
Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah.
Want to trade now?
No, we can finish the meeting.
You can do it.
You can finish the
You might
meeting.
as well start. You might as well start.
Take over. Rod. Finish the meeting, Doc.
Might as well learn.
That's gonna be the budget.
I think so, I think that's what they're talking about.
Huh?
I think we just had the election.
Yeah.
I make a motion to Brent be president.
Second.
Vice President?
I make a motion Andy be.
No, I'm done. I'm taking his spot. You can have your.
That was awful quick. I guess you got voluntold.
I'll make a motion that Mark Shock's the vice president
I can't
for another year.
do nothing about
I'll
it.
second it.
You just got voluntold.
You can vote.
I can?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll second it.
You need to.
Okay, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah. You are, even though you are president, you are elected,
On
and
this?
so
Okay,
you can vote.
I didn't know I could do that on this. Okay. So that puts us up to appoint a town attorney.
I'll make a motion that we make Ann our town attorney for the remainder of our term.
Okay,
Is that all right with you?
I accept.
I second it.
going back to the president and vice president, are you doing 1 year or remainder of the term, which is 2 years?
We can vote again next year, doesn't
Okay,
matter.
1 year term, because that's what you had before.
That's fine, we can vote next year, that's fine.
Okay. And then you're down.
NDOT grant, ABC contract, construction revised bid. This came in over now, didn't it?
It did. The one that was originally submitted was for 15 ramps. We put the application in for 16, and because we said we were going to do 16, we have to do 16. The revised bid with 16 ramps came in at $14,726. The original one was, I think, around 12,000.
Wait, what was the, when we advertised the bid, what was it for?
16.
Why did he only bid on 15?
We needed in within the cost.
But yet, we're out of the cost now.
We will be slightly over.
$700 and some.
No, it's more than that, I think.
It'll be 1,400.
1,400.
For one ramp?
The ramp is,
18 something.
yeah, it's a little bit more, but we had just a little bit of money that was not completely
$1,800
spoken
a
for.
ramp is what you're saying?
No,
Actually, I think
there
it was
was,
more than that.
there was different prices for different ramps, but this one that, when we come down to it, we said get under this amount of money, so he did. Well, he put in I told him we can either do away with 3 and 12 and go that way, and it was 600, we had $400 left, and he said, okay, keep 3 and 12 and the 400 and I'll make it right. Okay, so that's what he said. Well, then when he turned in the bid, he put in 15. So at the meeting, we okayed it. I called him up and said, hey, on the contract, you only had 15 bid. And he said, yeah, because I took away ramp such and such, which is up by the Lutheran church, and it's
That's the
the whole
rounded one.
corner, and it's high dollar, so that was the $1,800 one, so that's the one he took away.
Yeah, that's the big rounded one.
And we advertised at 16 ramps.
Mhm. Yes, we did.
But that's before he put the bid in, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that we advertised for 16 ramps. His bid that came in was for only 15 ramps.
So he bid it short.
He bid it short, wanting to come within the budget. But it doesn't work like that. We
No, I
have-
get it, it's just, if we advertised for 16, it should have been
It
16.
should have been, but it was 15.
What was the original, I don't remember what the original mess up was. Was it because they done the highway here, we had some of them
Yeah.
turned in? Is that
It's
what it was?
like 20,
Okay.
28 of them, and then all these come in with the highway.
That's
so
why it was, that's why it's,
That's why
that's
it
why
went-
the discrepancy.
That's why it went down, and he had them all bid for a certain amount. Well, when I called him and said, hey, take away 3 and 12, and that'll give us 2, and he said, well, okay, and then when he come in, he can come in at 15 with this price, and can't do that.
So yes, it's a little bit over, with the street bid and the cement bid, it's $190,421. Our grant is $141,765. So a local match will be $48,655.70.
That's counting the 16th ramp.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we had originally, with the original bid that came in with 15, our local match was $47,255.
So you're looking at $1,400 difference.
Yes,
But we had,
Where would we get that money from?
just out of the budget. We've got line items for sidewalks, and we can just take it out of one of those line items.
What if we reject the bid and put it out for bid again?
Ken, what would that do to our timeline?
Can, you have April the 15th to get all your paperwork turned in. The risk there is that you don't get any, you don't get any cheaper bids, you may get actually higher bids.
What if can you just do the sidewalks or the ramps? Or do you have to bid the pavement too?
The pavement and the ramps are two separate bids.
And we're good on the pavement, right?
You get on pavement. So if you reject the ramps, you've got a guaranteed price right now, you know where you stand. And the risk is that, see, it's February, March, you have 90 days to do that. It's 30 days to bid it out. So if you don't get any better bids then you risk not meeting the requirements of the program. So he gave us the original quotes for 25 ramps. The state came in and said, oh, by the way, we're gonna do 9 of those
On 218.
on 218. So then his original bid kind of went out the window, and then changing the prices to the other bids got a little more expensive because he thought he was gonna get more work and he didn't get as much more work. So that's where the additional price came in. He had to do less work, so he's not gonna get as much profit per ramp. So when he actually,
9 ramps.
yeah, because he's losing 9 ramps. He's losing almost,
Well, he's also buying in bulk when he buys the pads.
yeah.
Right.
So,
That makes sense.
so if you wanted to rebid, you certainly can. You're gonna be just a time crunch to do it.
We only had the one bid.
You only had one bid. We only had the one bid for 3 years in a row now. So getting someone over here. We did take quotes one time on Water Street, and we were 9,000 higher with bunch out of Brookston, and then out of Burlington, can't remember what the guy's
He
name
was,
is.
Brewster was
Brewster was
six
six.
over.
Yeah, so they're much higher than ABC. So you certainly can, or you can accept the bids and pay the difference out of another, of your sidewalk budget. Usually with that, it's not, it's approximately 10%, so you do what you want to do, but you're running up against time, so I recommend you bring them on.
It irritates me because we're getting 75-25 match, right? And we're spending $1,400 and not getting the 75% match basically on that,
Yeah.
which we should have.
Right.
And that irritates me when we do stuff like that, so.
State had told us, we probably,
I understand,
Yeah.
I mean,
we can send letters requesting the additional funds if you
no,
want.
and I think you're right, I mean, it could come in higher, or could
Right.
we not get a bid and jeopardize it? It puts us between a rock and a hard spot, especially once he redid his bid.
Yep.
Or between the quoting and the bidding, yeah.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept the bid
Second.
with the reservation.
I think you either do or you do.
I'm not happy about it at all.
No, we lost 75% of $1,400, and that's a lot of concrete, just.
The grant program's still going on, so you still got that around.
Yeah, when will they put that back out again, do you know?
May, so if you want to do something,
Okay, so we need to be thinking about it.
now's the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we do have contracts prepared if you're ready to sign them. And they are,
Wait for the concrete.
yeah, this one is the concrete.
The last page.
It's all standard language.
And those are the engineer joint contract documents, so the ones you've already approved for us to use in the past, so.
For the grant you mentioned coming up, we could actually do sidewalks with that.
I don't think it's sidewalks, oh, well, no, we, can we?
If it's along,
Because
the-
If it's on the street we're doing, we can do sidewalks,
Yeah.
correct?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
if they don't
drainage,
change it.
and drainage and things like that, so. you're-
So we figure out the street we want to pave, and then we find the sidewalks that need fixed too.
And they recommend you do sidewalks, they don't have very, one of the things they said is we're not getting very many sidewalks done, so they recommend you do sidewalks.
Yeah.
Would any possibility of them being a little more lenient and saying it doesn't have to be along where the construction of the right street is?
Why don't, if you wanna have a work session, I can explain it all, I don't wanna take all your time in council meeting. There are guidelines for exactly what you said to do.
Okay, this is the contract.
I think that would be good.
I agree.
If you want to sign here, then I would type in
Okay.
your signature, or type in your name, but you sign where it says signature.
We weren't sure who was gonna be the council president.
Yeah, we left it at.
I understand.
See, we're still good on Monroe, cause we ain't gonna do any paving on Monroe, and that's the sidewalk we wanna fix, so we'll be good there.
You want
No.
to hand it on? Okay.
I'd like to do Water Street too, though, to finish it.
That's-
Children's store.
Yeah.
That'll be out of you.
This is
Hopefully there's a lot of foot
concrete.
traffic up there this summer.
There's been a lot of traffic that store since it's open.
I know it, but this summer we'll have
all lit up.
foot traffic and.
Most of it's from the water.
Sign, Jane.
Dang,
That's
it's like,
old.
Yeah.
That's a good one, you see it in a wheelchair.
no, one lady goes all the way.
Yeah, that sign doesn't change it.
Really?
So he said change, yeah, he just changed it.
Yeah, people looking for a wheelchair, they come in, oh, buy something to drink.
There's not even two copies of each one.
One of the ones there, and it's 40 from
See, I mowed that lot for them a few times this year. Then they asked me to mow a lot in Lafayette.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a lot, it was 2 acres big. So it's like 4 feet tall.
the, they need gas to more on.
Yeah, I told my, these are, I'm gonna start it.
We have signed something for Central, we're good there. This is for
It's-
concrete.
It's
Okay.
done.
Yeah,
Don't
totally.
worry, you do
All right,
it.
so
Oh, but,
And the house next door is for $15.
Okay, Mark, we should get your motion for both
When we mow it twice.
the concrete and the street work, or just for one?
For both,
Okay, thank you.
if that's what you need.
Okay. Okay.
All right, on to the Les Drain memorandum and understanding. You table that in December.
Right, this is a copy of the memorandum that we received in December from the Drainage Board. Okay. And then, Ken, did you want to discuss?
Yes, we've been back and forth with the county several times on three issues. One is you have a grant to put in storm sewers along your own streets. That project is pretty much a standalone, since it's in your own rights of ways, as long as we don't connect to their drains, which are regulated by the county at this point in time. We can do our own project. We can put in municipal drains, it's clearly established. It's done all over the place. We do it for multiple communities. We don't go to the county and ask permission to put municipal drains in. We have rights of ways and easements that have already been signed. We're in the process of recording those easements. So that's one item. However, because we have an opportunity to resolve some long-standing issues, I thought maybe we should work with the county on those. And one is the Les Drain. That is a drain going down Monroe Street from the apartment complex all the way south. Used to go through the cemetery. In the 1984 property owners petitioned the county to reconstruct that drain, which they didn't. So the township and the town constructed it along Sanderson Street, or Cemetery Street, and put a new head wall in. That drain is entirely 100% inside the corporate boundaries. It's not assessed. The last time it was petitioned to do something, the county didn't do anything with it. There's a provision in the drainage law which applies to county drainage that you can request that drain, and if the Board of Drainage and Drainage Board by resolution says that you can have it, then it'll be transferred to you. It's essentially storm sewers anyway. You've been taking care of it anyway. I don't see any benefit to leaving it in the county's hands, because then if anything happens to it, you have to go back over there and ask permission. So there's a resolution that you accept that drain.
Have they had an assessment on that drain all this time?
Has not been assessed at all. There's been
So there's
nothing.
no money in their account for it?
Per the drainage code, it should have been vacated by now.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the drainage code, that's, there is no assessment. Abandoning the drain isn't gonna harm anybody, because you've already been taking care of the drainage. Parts of it were already in need of repair. So there's a resolution there that if you choose to ask the county to transfer that to you, they can do so by the drainage law. And I believe Ann's taken a look at that letter already. So that's what I would recommend.
Are you talking about the things that you furnished to us?
Yes.
Yeah, I've read them and they're okay, and I've even looked up the statutes that you cited. So everything's okay.
Since that drain is inside the corporate boundaries, it's your drain anyway. You're the only ones paid for it in 100 years. You may as well accept it, and then that way, the reason I'm suggesting that is because there's a section of the project you're going to do that we could reconstruct part of that drain with, combine them into one larger pipe, which would benefit you and that main drain, and then it would improve the overall situation for everybody. Versus if you just do your own project, you could actually have some economy of scale.
Right.
And actually do a better job of drainage for the town. Again, and the drainage law says, if you read it, drainage shall be vacated if the following conditions are met, and that drain clearly meets those conditions. So it probably should have been vacated by now anyway. But they can, by resolution, which you're aware of, and you can supply that to their attorney prior to the next meeting, transferring that drain to you. It's not like leave it out there. Nobody's going to be your responsibility.
We've been taking care of it anyway.
You've been taking care of it anyway. It's already incorporated in the drawings. The other thing is if you so choose, this is probably the next thing on the item. The George Hunt drain. If you so choose, that drain is essentially in the same condition. The only difference there is parts of it are in the town, parts of it are not. Under the drainage law, you are authorized to act as the town's representative, since you're the board. So if you wanted to request that be vacated, you certainly can.
What would happen on something like that? It's outside the corporate boundaries.
We would just, the town will take care of the parts in the town. It's discontinuous over the hill. It doesn't drain through that pipe anymore.
So you're saying to the point where it leaves the corporate boundaries is
Is
our
yours.
responsibility?
And then the property owners would just take care of it. One of the property owners actually wants it, doesn't want it anymore. And the gentleman who's just over the hill on the west side of the road there, he's expressed to me, this is hearsay, that, probably wouldn't want that drain there anymore. So, but, there are two property owners that might. They've already fixed it themselves. Those holes in the ground was already fixed by the property owner down there anyway. The alternatives for the county are, per the statute, per the drainage code, which was brought up to us by their attorney, statutes are reconstruction, where everybody would be assessed, it'll be rebuilt, and I'm not sure when that would occur.
Have to build up all that money.
Maintenance, which is well beyond the point where maintenance is gonna do any good for it, and then vacation.
What,
Are you wanting all this, are you wanting this signed tonight or not?
I guess, to go back to the county, we would need a decision, this is immaterial to your storm sewer project.
Right. It's just something you could help along while we're doing it.
Yeah, this is completely separate from your storm sewer project, but since you're talking about drainage, you may as well talk about all the issues at once.
Yeah.
on the Hunt drain, and it'll probably come up if you go to the board meeting, is that our runoff water from the town that runs over the hill, are we responsible for that, or?
If you have any water running over that hill that is affecting a property owner, then I would say Delphi has the same situation if they have water run over the hill affecting the property owner, and Flora and any other municipality. I've not heard of any.
Well, what I was wondering about is if they did an assessment on the Hunt drain for the county side, could they get the town residents that live on that side of the 218 to run off?
Yeah.
I don't think they control surface runoff.
Okay,
I
I'm
think
just
that's
asking because it's been brought to my attention that they could double assess, if we assess the town residents for our drain
If they put,
project,
yeah,
and then now they're saying, hey, we're gonna assess this drain, and the water that drain receives is coming as runoff from Camden.
if they put a tile in, they can assess the construction of the tile. But they don't have the authority to just assess natural runoff. That's Corps of Engineers, IDEM, and DNR. Trust me.
I'm just wanting to make
every
sure
day I
that,
battle
I
those
just wanna
ones.
make sure the residents of Camden aren't hit twice with assessments on drainage.
And if there's a petition for a drain, there's a specific petition to get a drain in. Oh, we're talking county level. So
Right.
you can do what you want since you're a municipality. So they would, I would think if they're gonna assess the people that live along that drain, they're gonna wanna see some action. Or at least tell them when they're gonna do something. They've not done anything in 100 years with that drain.
No, I understand.
And then, so I'm not sure who, Mr. Leonard owns the property on south?
He owns on the east side of the road and Cripe on Larimore on the west side of the
Yeah.
road.
I have not read, I read that entire drainage ordinance, or statute about 10 times. Nowhere in it does it say anything about what natural surface water.
Okay.
That's Corps of Engineers, that's the Department of Natural Resources.
And it could be just because we have a different surveyor than what, over 100 years, we've had several, so.
And again, this is just things that's a completely separate issue from your storm sewer project. We're proceeding full.
I just want to be clear though, I mean, because we will have an assessment for our drainage process.
Yeah, you control that. You control the amount as your.
We already have it in place, right?
Yeah, as part, yeah. You control storm drainage in town of Camden. If you're affecting somebody's property because of surface runoff, has anyone come to you and said that that's the issue?
No, it was brought up at the county level.
Oh, then I'm not, yeah. Let me know, because we'd be more than happy to talk to them. But as far as your storm drainage project, I would just say the only thing really we need to do tonight is if you decide to take the Lesh drain over, pass the resolution and submit it to the county, and then they can take action or not take action, your storm drainage project is gonna proceed regardless.
If we take the Lesh drain over, is there part of our project to change the diameter of that drain?
We can improve the overall drainage down there by putting a larger pipe down through there.
So it makes sense for us to do that.
Makes sense for you to combine those two drains into a larger drain, and you can, provide better drainage. And if you put that drain in, from Armstrong Street to Sanderson, I mean, you only got, Indiana, Ohio, Lee Street. So pretty much the entire south part of your town, and pretty much the entire north part of your town would already have a 24-inch pipe all the way through, because about 15 years ago, we put a 24-inch pipe all the way along the north side. So you're, you have drains that go to a natural waterway for more than 70% of your town.
That'd be nice.
If we ask them to give us the ledge drain at the same meeting on February, should we ask them to vacate the hunt?
That's your decision. There's a petition there. If you choose to do that, it's your decision.
And that's a petition for reclassification.
To vacate the drain, yes.
So we need to make a decision on the hunt drain, the lush drain,
And that's basically it.
and approve the letter. Is that the letter?
Yeah, the
Actually
letter-
states that.
The letter basically says, this is our position, in lieu of their memorandum of understanding. It's not exactly what they wanted, and I'm sure they're gonna have to take some time to look at that, and that's why I thought we'd give them the time to look at that before the next.
I'm in favor of it. I'll make a motion that we draft a letter, approve a letter for the drainage board for the lush, Camden to take over the lush drain and the hunt drain,
Vacate the hunt.
vacate it.
Vacate the hunt. Okay, second.
Okay, we'll have to get that reworked just a little bit. And this is the petition.
Do you need a motion for that too, or?
I think you just
Part
do.
of it?
This is for the vacating of the drain.
Okay, was your motion just for the letter?
What do you need?
Well, we have a letter that needs to go in with it. This is the petition to vacate, and this is the resolution.
So you need a motion for all three?
That's what you're,
I believe I'm looking at the same thing you
Yes,
are.
that's the resolution. Yes, that's the resolution.
So you need a motion for the resolution, motion for the petition, and a motion for the letter.
yes.
I make a motion for all three.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This is the one,
Yeah.
this is the one we were talking about.
Okay.
I want to tell you, I thought your letter was very good, even I understood it. And I'm not a drainage person.
Use the town address,
I hope the county does.
box 47.
But I did look the statutes up and where they're, I'm looking okay.
Great.
I just wanted to be sure.
I put a,
It's not that I doubted you.
I put a disclaimer on there, I'm not practicing law.
But Camden too.
Yeah, probably should.
Who's on the actual drainage board?
I believe 2
Steve
commissioners.
Pearson's the president.
We didn't talk about it.
Steve and Shockley, I'm sure.
No,
All
the commissioners are the board and then Shockley's
And then
there.
Okay.
That's the official non-voting member.
And this is the resolution, if you would sign it. I know, but it's where it is.
No, it's spelled wrong.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I don't care where it's at, I just. It's spelled wrong.
We make sure that didn't happen again. So the memorandum of understanding that was
spelled wrong, too.
presented last.
Is it?
Forgot to see.
His name's spelled wrong too.
Yes.
Your name right, Andy? You better look.
Remember
Yep.
those, Pat, those performance-based bonuses?
Yeah. It's going out the window.
That's my fault.
She got her name
Uh-oh,
right.
that's all right.
Okay. We will take those. The letter, we will have to get a little change done on that. But those will go.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, sorry for the complicated issues.
No, I just want to make sure we're clear on it before we do that. So.
Do we need any kind of a motion on the memorandum of understanding that was sent to us by the county declining the offer? Or do we
I'll
just, okay,
make a motion, we decline the
I would feel better. for that.
MOU, just to make it official.
Second.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry it takes you your time. Thank you.
No, you're-
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it. You guys want to go ahead and talk?
So, Chris Underwood, Mike Barron with Broadway Broadband, we're pretty well established in the internet industry around here for the last 10 years or so. We've been in this town for a couple of years on Green Lake over here, Faber Green Lake, with the wireless stuff. We've been contracting with other fiber providers for about that long too, so we've got a pretty good handle on how to do the fiber to the home stuff. So you guys are our fourth or fifth corporation to come to meetings now. We're looking to build out quite a few towns this year and provide high-speed actual broadband internet to folks inside your corporation. So we want to bring a fiber to everybody's home. That's kind of the idea of what we want to do. Our speeds they're comparable to New Wave. I heard they have 100 meg in Florida. We'll be able to go faster than that if we need to. I mean, we will be able to go up to a gig speed by the time the whole thing is built. And really what we want to hammer down too is we realize that there's some folks that they can't really pay for internet. Some folks that have other things they need to pay for, internet's the last thing that's going to get paid for. So we want to make sure that every home has the option to connect to a free account. Obviously, it'd be a basic account, enough to do homework on, maybe stream a little bit of YouTube if they need it for their studies. Because I know a lot of kids are getting stuff from YouTube these days.
Yeah.
So in that basic account, that would be something free. And if someone got on that basic account, they rode that for 6 months and decided they wanted to go faster, that just makes it easier. They're already connected, So that's kind of what we want to do. Obviously, this would cost your corporation, your town, nothing. What we need essentially a vote on is the right to proceed, the right to use your easements. Typically what we will do is use the easements to bury cable, cross roads, under roads with boring machines, things like that. Sometimes we'll even use telephone poles if it's Duke that owns them here. We'll deal with Duke on pole permits and things like that. To cross, if we need to cross the highway, which I'm sure we will, when we're going under or above it, we'll get all that stuff worked out. And if you need more details as far as planning, when we plan to do a certain phase or how far we're going for a certain direction, a more detailed map, obviously it's just a map of your town.
Right.
We can provide that as well.
Who are some of the municipalities you're in now?
Right now, we already have approval for Florida. We're still working with Galveston, Onward, Young America. Those are the ones we're approved in already right now.
Where are you located out of?
So we're based over at Grissom.
Oh, okay.
Grissom Air Force Base is our main office.
When you say approved, do you have fiber in those towns now?
No, we do not.
That's what you're planning on doing this summer?
That's correct. Yeah, we're gonna start with the Onward. It's gonna be a relatively small build. I mean,
That's a small town.
2 streets there maybe. But we're gonna start there, get that knocked out. We'll probably get Young America knocked out after that. Florida's gonna be probably towards the end of the summer. This might be.
Now, subscribers, is there a contract that they have to sign, or is it just month to month?
We really haven't got that far on that. So on the wireless side, we do have a contract.
Okay.
But there's a cost to us installing someone's home.
Sure.
So on the wireless side, it's just a 12-month agreement on the wireless side. And people have the option to not do that agreement. They can just pay for the install up front and there's no contract. We haven't quite formed exactly how we're doing the fiber side yet, as far as billing is concerned, or cost for that matter. We know it's going to be less than $80 a month for our top pack, which will be over 100 megs. So, and we'll have once that blast is at everybody's house, the potential to go faster is there already. So.
Are you looking for any antenna space?
It depends on where it's at, but we're always looking for antenna space.
Like a water
We
tower?
have, of course, we have to go through our company that we do our maintenance agreement with, but we have antenna space available on the tower.
Is there another provider out there already? I thought there was.
Not for that, no. All we have up there is the school.
Okay. Direct
And
link
of
to
course
the school.
and then of course we have our radio
Got it.
antenna up there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we're already on the grain leg. I believe the tower's probably a little bit taller.
High water level is 138 feet.
Okay.
Have you done any studies or got any metrics on how many people would be interested? Have you talked to anyone in town, or
No, we have not.
does it make a decision? I mean, part of your decision based on
It's a no-brainer. If we're putting glass at someone's house, why would they say no?
That's free.
No.
No, I understand, but I'm just, to make it worth your time, I think you need so many subscribers. I mean,
I believe it seems like the old Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come.
Okay.
That's the way we've been doing it for about
So
4
we're
years
going,
now,
yes.
so.
There's just a lot of kids that aren't able to do their homework, that's the big thing.
Yeah, they get out there to the library on the porch and sit,
Yeah.
some of them do.
That basic speed at their homes, and they're not taking times away from their family, they're out and be able to be at home, do
No,
their homework.
I greatly appreciate that,
Yeah.
that concept, so.
Yeah.
So if you guys do the entire town, what do you offer then the businesses? What kind of capability, do they also have access
Oh,
to?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, so as far as the town accepting the proposal itself, what we do for the town with all the municipalities, we get free service. We do the library too, we consider this a municipality.
okay.
The businesses will be able to have the option to get
To
paid
buy
for
into
service,
it,
right.
sure. Do you have a, well, I know you're still working out the rates, but would you have a higher rate than probably for the commercial side of things, or? I'm just curious.
Typically it's about 10 to 20% higher,
Okay,
but we can definitely get that worked out
Okay.
as we go along here.
okay.
But whatever it is, it's gonna be better than whatever option there is here.
It's
Yeah,
not gonna shut off all the time, like
Yeah.
my new way does.
No, we try not to shut anybody off, that definitely
Yeah.
doesn't make customers happy. There's times, especially on the wireless side, and recently, we'll get ice on an AP or something like that. And when the ice is on AP, there's not much we can do about it until the darn thing melts. But with fiber, probably not gonna have that option, because it's gonna be, that problem, it's gonna be in the ground,
Right.
or it's gonna be in its sheath and conduit hanging from poles, so ice isn't really an issue.
So this would be all new fiber that you'd run in town
Yes, sir.
into the houses?
Yes, sir.
Also frees up space on the aerial things for people outside of the town,
Right.
so their speeds are gonna be faster as well.
Our existing customers, is what he's saying, on the wireless side.
you know, with TDS in town, what kind of arrangement is there with their internet service? Is there anything that they really do for the community, or,
We pay for the service.
They've
and
donated,
it's not very fast, I
They've
know it's
donated.
DSL.
they've donated the banners to us.
Right, I know they've done that,
It's DSL, 50
but it's
megs
just
about.
DSL, yeah,
Calm down. Goodness gracious.
yeah.
That's not the standard for TDS protocol ever.
We have,
I get a lot of calls about the broken pins.
we she said TDS, she snapped. We have Comcast running through town. Will that affect anything? I mean, we'd have to check with that.
We do have Comcast in town.
No, New Wave took over.
New Wave took
Wave
over
took over,
Comcast,
yeah.
and they're all above
The New
ground.
Wave,
That's
that's,
on the Duke Power
yeah,
Is that all
poles,
good?
isn't it? It's
I
on the
mean-
poles though, isn't it?
Yeah, mine comes off the pole.
does it?
Does it? That's, I
Yeah,
just
so
didn't
does
know what we
mine.
had buried.
We get a quarterly check from them, so we need to make sure we don't have a conflict
Speaking of that,
with,
I didn't know that.
okay, so that's what we need to check with.
We got, I appreciate you guys coming.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Um,
That sounds awesome.
But I think we probably just need to check out a few things, and do you mind if we go ahead and check out some things?
Sure.
And circle back with you one way or another, is what I feel.
I like the sound of it, I'll tell you what.
We get the
Want to
fiber
just
in
table
here.
it for a while and have a chance to look at
Yeah.
it?
Because
Do
do
our
our
research.
research a month ahead. They make me pay for service before I use it.
You got my card, just give me a
I got
call.
Yeah.
I'll be the town guinea pig.
you didn't have a hard fight at Young America, did you?
There's no,
Watch them
we just had
cats
to go to the
over
county
there.
there.
There are not too many good
On
people
the
from America.
about as big a fight as Onward,
No, well, Onward was, yeah, that's kind of funny, but,
they're mad they didn't bring
Young
it on.
America, there wasn't a board, so we just
Yeah.
went to the county and they took care of that, but, yeah, Onward was.
I
everybody
do, I like sound of
wants-
that.
wants it.
Yep.
Sounds awesome.
Do you have any questions of us, or?
No, not really, I guess, is it something that we maybe need to wait until the next meeting for a vote?
Yeah, we can't do
Yeah,
anything
we'll-
until we meet
We'll
in.
check out and make sure we don't have a conflict with our other stuff, and then,
Gotcha.
yeah, come back.
Okay.
And then, so.
Can you make it
meeting-
next month, or you just want us to?
Be the
vote
second
on it?
Wednesday.
No, yeah, we'll come to the next meeting.
Second Wednesday.
February 14th.
Oh,
February 14th? That's the same time Onward.
I know.
They want us to come back to do.
We got a
Q&A.
Q&A on
How'd it go up Florida? Did you go to their board meeting?
It was awesome, they were.
Did they decide that night, or did they?
They voted to, yeah, to move forward, and then we had to talk to Gator on the details and whatnot. So,
If you look on Facebook, everybody's upset with their provider
Oh,
in
they
Florida.
are, yeah.
Everybody complains.
I was just curious, because we pretty much interact with Flora and Delphi a lot.
Sure.
on other things.
I've been trying to get a hold of Delphi, we'll be going there next to lock them in too.
Yeah.
They meet the
Delphi,
first
I might get you to
Mondays,
the courthouse.
yeah. Yeah, they meet the first Monday night in Delphi.
Okay.
All right, well.
But
thank
if
you.
we okay, or decide to okay you guys, and you aren't here Tuesday, we'll just proceed. If you gotta be at Onward, you know what I mean?
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys can vote on it, I guess, or could someone let us know maybe what you find out
Is there
before?
some-
I could just,
Yeah, we could contact you. Is there a contract or something? I mean, what are you looking for?
We
from
will
us?
end up having a contract just on, essentially on,
What would that entail? I mean, just the easement right to use the easements, the board, is that what you're saying?
right.
Do you have a copy of that now, or?
No, we do not, I'll get that for all
Yeah,
of us.
'cause we want our lawyer to look at it.
Yeah,
Sure.
just bring and drop it off at the office when you come through.
Put it right on top of the telephone that's already there.
Not on top of the water main, because that's what they always did.
Yeah, bring us a copy of that contract you have, so we can have,
Well, they can also give it directly
well, you just give it to her.
here, I'll tell you who it is.
Okay. She's in Florida.
For another year,
Yeah.
for another year.
Yeah, we got you for another year.
2,
Block from the city.
she makes 2.
You have to.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got
you
2.
get 2 more years.
Rest
You
of
ain't
our
going
term.
nowhere.
Who wrote that?
Take that. Yeah, drop it off to her and then she'll get with us.
Okay.
And then we'll do our part to check that we're gonna be okay. And
Sounds good.
I like the sound of it.
Thank you very much, we appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
You guys get Delphi, come see me. I need you for it. Everybody's doing e-filing, and the internet at the courthouse is pretty slow.
you guys have Frontier?
I don't know who they are.
Right.
Every time I ask, it's somebody new. No one knows who it is. It used to be the old RNC.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they're doing contracts over
You know, it might be. I've heard that one too. I tried to get New Wave in over there, but they were $1,200 a month to put the court.
there. Holy moly. Yeah, we'll feed the courthouse for free.
What's your business card?
Huh?
That is business card.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good seeing other fiber options.
No, that's,
I don't
Thanks, sir.
I'm not.
I got yours, this is good.
Okay.
You always trust me.
Sure, yeah. You're up?
You know, I just came this evening because, you know, I've been a EDC board rep for you guys for 2 years now and have 1 more year on the term and kind of wanted to hear, you know, what the will of the council is, if you intended to still be involved, you know, with the EDC, and if you still wish for me to continue attending. There will be a board meeting in the morning, so I fully intend to go, so. Yeah, so I was just kind of here, just letting you know I'm more than willing to, if that's what you like.
That's, in my opinion, is I'd like you to stay on, because I think you do a good job,
I agree.
I'd be happy to.
if you're willing to, so.
That was a giggle. You heard that.
Was that for the willing or happy to?
It's all good. I'm being recorded.
Oh, yeah.
I make a motion in that reappoint Julia to the EDC board.
Oh, second.
Locked in too.
Just more gray hair coming your way.
Pete, you're up, buddy.
Mhm.
I just briefly say, the rail commission met here Monday afternoon, and there was a very good accounting summarization of that by Debbie Lowe was in the paper today, if you read it and so forth, but I think you all got a copy of the letter of response that we sent to the EDC. We respectfully considered their proposal and respectfully said no thank you, basically, but we definitely intend to continue cooperating and collaborating with the EDC, but the terms they had in their agreement were, as were outlined there, and you've got a copy of the letter, I think we sent them, but we don't have the authority to change the membership of the Rail Commission. It was spelled out in the interlocal agreement that created that entity that the town of Camden and Flora agreed to. And going forward, we don't intend to receive any direct financial support any longer from the EDC. Because all we want to cooperate and collaborate with them, we are not accountable to the EDC. The only clarification I'd say to Debbie's articles in the newspaper today, it made it sound like we're not accountable to anybody, and we definitely, as our letter says, we are fully accountable to the towns of Camden and Flora. That's who we're accountable to, so I think that's about it. But there was no change in the membership of the Rail Commission, and Julia she serves on that as well. She and Connie Cripe, and David Allball and Brett Hanaway from Flora, and myself, and Pat serves as our financial officer. So we're reorganized. We've no change in our leadership, and I guess we approved the budget and get a copy of that as well, and we're moving forward. So we don't want any, we certainly don't want any. If there's any disagreement with the EDC or anything, it's just, I don't know why we had an agreement with them for 4 years and they chose to terminate it mid last year, and came up with a revised one, and the revised one we just respectfully said we can't do it. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Has Laura attended any of your meetings, Pete, within the last couple of years?
Well, yeah, oh yeah. We haven't really met since June, I don't think. We haven't had a formal meeting, but she was at that meeting. She's been invited to all of our public meetings and to our executive sessions.
Okay.
Now, going forward, though,
No, I understand.
going forward, she will be, and we will ask her involvement, or somebody's involved with EDC when it's needed. So that's going forward.
Has any other members, such as Joe or any of the board members, attended?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Joe's attended. In fact, he was there in June, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think there've been any other board members, though, it's just been
No.
Joe Mayfield and Laura.
Just Joe and,
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe and Laura.
Okay.
I'm not, Marion might have been there once, I don't know, but I
I
can't.
don't think so.
I'm getting
So,
old. My
I've been the
memory's not
secretary, I
really
don't
good.
believe she has, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
I don't believe
that's
she
fine.
has.
So, what's that?
All right,
Thank you.
now we got the board appointments. Well, obviously the first one, reappoint Julia. That one's gonna be a go. We gotta fill
Thank you.
Mark's term.
Any suggestions? Yes, Mark resign.
No. Any suggestions?
You're all staring at him pretty hard.
No. Nope. Not interested at all. You and Connie together, I would
Mark
hate to
is
see that.
resigning from
Well,
the
the
EDC
EDC, you want to try
board.
to get
Yes.
somebody
I
else
would,
on
I
that.
would hate to see that.
When is your contract up with the
We still have another year.
So it's all of this year then? Okay, so guaranteed 3 seats filled in, okay.
I think everybody's.
However,
If we pay our dues.
yeah, we have not been invoiced yet, so
Okay.
we do need to get to that discussion.
Okay.
Well, they haven't approached us either, have
They haven't invoiced us.
they? Mm-hmm.
Looks like that falls on the president.
So you wanted to table filling Mark until next month?
Well, do we have any recommendations? You got anybody, Julia, in mind?
I hadn't asked them though, how they felt about it, so I hate to say it out loud.
Could you let us know after the meeting, or
Yeah, I
let
could.
Pat know, and then we can,
Sure,
maybe we can approach him, or
Yeah.
you can,
yeah, that's fine. It was
if
just
we're
thinking of a
okay with
couple
it, and then we
people.
can vote next meeting, I guess. So I
Okay.
make a motion to table it till next meeting. Whoever it is, they just have to realize it's a morning meeting during the
Yeah,
week, so
right.
it's somewhat difficult if you work a job where you can't get away all the time,
Mhm.
so as long as they know that ahead of time.
And then we're on to emergency management, Indy.
Nope. President, you need to be hands-on, and they
I'll
need
do
to,
it.
they need to.
I'll do the best I can.
Same way with the courtesy.
How often do they meet?
They never have, I never have.
Emergency management,
That'd be pretty easy to be hands-on.
I never went,
they don't have a board.
yeah,
There is no board for emergency management.
Really?
And I asked Dana about it, because everybody's been calling me about him, and I'm like,
Who's his board? I can't remember his board.
They still got the E911 though?
Yep. Yeah, we just had a
Do
meeting
you
on
need a
that.
motion
last
for
week.
that for Ellen?
Yes, because we're renewing them.
I will make a motion, Ellen Dunning for E911.
Second. Do you need a motion to put Brent in as emergency management?
He volunteered.
Okay.
That's all it's
Okay, and then Curbsy?
Not interested.
They'll do it.
I think there's a meeting this week.
Where they meet at?
Move on.
Last year we went in the snow,
Yep.
because we rode together. No counties represent. So if you, meetings we can go together.
When is it, tomorrow?
I'll have to look. I think it says tomorrow.
The week's running short, so.
I don't know. Maybe it was tonight.
On this for Curbsy, I'll fill this out, but I do need signatures down here in the bottom.
Find out and let me know, cause I'll be home tomorrow.
Here's your Curbsy meeting schedule.
There, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, it sounds like I'll find out.
We need them off the
January 25th.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's what, 7 o'clock?
Yep.
Yeah. If you want, we can ride together.
Yeah, if I'm home, we'll go.
I went to the first one. Had no clue what they were talking about.
Well, like when you go, they do Area 5 and Ween in Area 5,
Yeah.
so you sit there the whole time for nothing.
For nothing.
Yeah, and then I get that packet for the,
Yeah.
they do for the schools, I'm like, we're not into that.
I'll make a motion for the Camden Flora Rail Commission, Pete Wagner and Connie Cripe, be reappointed.
When's the term up on that? When?
There isn't any term on
When Pete wins
it.
his-
The way at least the way the interlocal agreement between Florida and Canada, it didn't have a, there isn't a specified term on it.
Until you get
Yeah.
there.
Till you die, I guess.
Yeah.
We won't be doing
Or
that.
until you
Yeah,
get kicked
yeah,
off.
don't do that.
Till you resign or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Wait till you get everything in out there.
Yeah, you can make a change anytime you want to.
Jerry, your department reports.
Don't have a lot to report on. I did check on the town name signs. There's two up. There's one on the west end and south end. The one on the south end is down just on the other side of the bridge. Them belong to the state highway. There's one missing out from the east side. Now, I can replace or add one to the north end, and I can add one to Washington Street, West Washington, if you want. Where it comes in,
Right.
if you'd like. I don't know what size that's available or what you guys want. I don't know whether you wanna wait till the state highway's in, somebody, and I can talk to them, maybe I can get them all changed to the same color. I don't know what the deal is with that. Andy had said something about maybe somebody coming in, thought maybe I might go talk to them while they're in here.
Oh, from the port, somebody coming in.
But I don't remember what you said he's coming in for the state highway. I don't remember now.
Oh, no, I was gonna call him about seeing about getting some better signage for the,
Oh, okay,
Oh, that's right,
okay.
the heart.
But anyway,
I hope you
Anyway,
get some people there.
Yeah, you said, sign says Camden and you turn.
yeah.
You're there.
yeah,
Quickly.
so that's where I'm at on the signs right now. I also got with the doctor's office over here, over handicap parking. She really wants something in the front, so they can just get right out for the shortest distance. I don't think I can really put anything out there for handicap, as far as putting handicap out there, because of the width and everything you gotta have, because there's not enough room for along the road right there for your width, for handicap, if you put up handicap accessible. And I said something to her about putting it around on the side. Of course, then we'd have to move the bumpers over and make the parking, so you've lost a couple of parking places then. She didn't necessarily like that idea, and I don't know that you'd have room to get around between the sidewalk and that wall too much. I mean, there's room there, but it's tight if you have a wheelchair. My only other option is to put up some temporary signs whenever they have something, we can just set up there, right there, that just says doctor's office parking only, and just set them up, or like a temporary sign if we have something going on, maybe
I
throw
thought
a
that
couple of
was,
them up there.
I thought that was the main issue when we had the auction here. for
It is,
Hearts.
but they talked about handicap sign, or handicap parking.
Yeah, I met with her. this
And,
Monday,
How often is
mainly-
that an issue though?
Three
I mean,
times.
I
because
know,
three
I know.
times.
it's usually there's plenty of parking in front of the doctor's office.
yeah,
She said
So it'd
three
be-
times, she's only had issue 3 times.
3 times in how many years?
Right, that's why the temporary
Yeah.
thing would be good, if we got something, just set
and
it
I
up
don't know
there.
that you even have to do anything,
Yeah,
really,
we
you
have-
don't, but,
We don't have very many auctions anymore, and we have the ready, set,
I
go.
mean, we don't have to do anything, I mean, really, I mean, that's
Well, it
just,
might be
what I'm saying is,
gesture, but-
I'm trying to be, I'm just trying to see if we can help out. the
Temporary
situation,
sign,
but-
maybe put on the sidewalk, the doctor, when we have something going,
But,
I mean,
Come with the
come with
Good.
something.
Marshall, no parking.
Yeah, something like
This-
that. I mean, they do it in Delphi for parades, they just set, come,
yeah.
I mean, it's only happened 3 times.
I had another question on the signs, on east, west, and south. We have welcome to Camden signs that were made several years ago, but we never put anything on the north end.
It was wiped out, I think.
Is that
I
what?
don't know where it's at.
I don't know that we ever did.
Yeah, there was a smaller one up there at one time, and
How
they
much-
wiped it out.
Do you know what the estimated cost on one of those? if we
Oh, I
had-
have no idea. I didn't even have nothing to do with that when they put them up.
I think it'd be nice if we put one, but especially with that being, it's traveled as much as it is now.
Well, the one on the east side, I think we've got it sitting in the shop.
The east, that way?
Yeah, it was run into or hit or something. I've got it sitting in the shop. What we need to do is just talk to Foreman and see about, because I think he's the one that put them up.
Do you mind getting a quote on them and maybe reporting next meeting, or
I can do that.
you guys okay with that, or?
But what do you want? Are you wanting the one that, you want them similar to what they got, or do you want him to design something, or what do you, I mean, what do you ask? I mean,
I would have him quote similar to what he has right now, just,
like out here, because that's a pretty good sized sign. And you probably got room, but you don't have a lot of room between the field out here and the road now.
Is there anywhere we could put it over on that lot that Swayze bought there? You think Ron would give us permission to put something there, on that side of town?
That, I don't know. I
On the
didn't,
east side of the
you can
road.
always ask him, but,
I think Ron would let us.
you'd have to put it on the,
Yeah, that's what I mean, on his side, 'cause
unless you put something smaller up. There was a smaller sign on the north end at one time.
how big
it
are
was
the
like-
signs? Are they 4
I think it was like-
it was on a
4 by
post,
each?
wasn't it?
The one down there in that corner is
There
pretty
might have
big.
been 2 posts.
Yeah.
If I remember right, it was only, that one was only like
Farmers.
this.
I think that was when I first moved in, I remember that.
Yeah, somebody run over that just
17
as
years.
soon as you put it up.
you might get a quote on like a 4x8 and a 3x5 or something, see what he says.
Okay. Of course, you just want it on one side.
I think
Just
so.
as they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
4x8 and 3x5?
Or on the backside, put thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, yeah,
or
something like
whatever.
Come
Yeah,
back.
Come back,
Something like that.
that.
I'll come back.
On the backside, instead of it just being blank, say, thanks for visiting Camden, or, come back, or whatever.
You might try and make sure you stay consistent with them.
Yeah,
As, the county
You might
goes
be-
through, we
they
went
go
through a
to
branding
reserve.
process and, just to kind of keep them the same, if you could.
If we could do the font, maybe the same as the font on the water tower.
And
or
the
something.
blue,
ooh, yeah.
use your color
I think
too.
we went with red.
Is that what you
Reds.
did? That's
Yeah,
okay.
no, not red.
I don't know, it's something we can discuss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, update on the Marshall, nothing new yet, very close though.
Okay.
Clerk treasurer.
I will go through this quickly. You have the annual report and the budget from the rail commission. And you're welcome. And then, of course, the letter, the response letter to EDC is in that packet. If you have any questions, you can get back on that.
And that's been mailed already, or to me?
It was emailed, so he would have it prior to it being in the paper, but I think probably a hard copy was being followed up, but we didn't want them to see it in the paper before they actually had it
So
in
it'll be
hand.
discussed tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be. It was included in the board packet,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Okay. And the next thing was, how do you want to proceed with the 2017 and 18 EDC dues?
Has there been any correspondence at all with
The last correspondence